You know that feeling, right? Someone gives you a piece of praise that should feel amazing, but instead, you just feel, well, kind of weird and uncomfortable? You are definitely not alone in that. So today, let's get into why that happens and, more importantly, what we can actually do about it.
Just picture it. You're at work. A message pops up on Slack. It's from your editor, and it says, "We all loved your headline." Now, instead of that rush of pride you'd expect, your face gets hot, you're squirming in your chair, and you have this overwhelming urge to just vanish. I mean, aren't compliments supposed to be a good thing?
This is what some folks call the paradox of praise. It's that strange gap between how we think we should feel and how we actually feel. And that paradox is the very heart of the question we're tackling in this explainer. Why does something so nice so often feel so incredibly awkward?
Okay, so let's dive into the psychology of all this awkwardness. It turns out the reasons for our cringeworthy reactions are buried pretty deep in our own self-perception and our social conditioning. And believe me, it is way more common than you'd think.
And I'm not just talking about a feeling a few of us have. One study found that a whopping 68% of people associate getting recognition not with joy or pride, but with embarrassment. So yeah, if this is you, you're actually in the majority.
So what's really going on here? Well, it's a whole mix of things. For one, a compliment can totally clash with our own negative self-image. Plus, we're taught our entire lives that boasting is a bad look, so accepting praise can feel like you're breaking some unwritten social rule. It can even create this weird pressure, like now you owe that person something, or you have to live up to this new super high expectation.
There's actually a technical term for that inner conflict. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's that mental static you feel when someone's positive view of you just smashes into your own, maybe more critical, self-view. Your brain is basically screaming, wait, these two things can't both be true. And that result is that classic wave of discomfort.
But you know, when we dig even deeper, past all the social rules and the cognitive dissonance, we find that for so many of us, this whole difficulty is rooted in one single fundamental issue: a lack of trust.
Now, check out this fascinating parallel that one researcher draws. They compare imposter thinking to conspiracy thinking. Now, stay with me on this. Both mindsets involve this selective distrust of outside information. If you have imposter syndrome, you distrust praise from other people. You just write it off as them being nice or insincere. And instead, you overtrust your own internal negative voice. It's a really powerful way to understand this whole internal battle.
Okay, so we feel awkward. So what? Big deal, right? Well, it turns out that getting better at accepting a compliment is way more than just good manners. It has real, tangible benefits for pretty much every part of our lives. Think about it. When we actually accept praise, we make our connections with other people stronger. Compliments are like the social glue holding our relationships together. It lets that external validation slowly chip away at our own negative self-talk, boosting our self-worth over time. And in a professional setting, it projects confidence and emotional intelligence, which are absolutely crucial for leadership and for moving your career forward.
And let's look at the flip side. When you brush off a compliment with, "Oh, it was nothing," you're not just rejecting the kind words, you're kind of subtly rejecting the person who offered them. You're pushing away their goodwill, and if you do that enough, it can genuinely start to damage your professional and personal relationships.
So, we know why it's hard, and we know why it's important. Now for the really practical part. How do we actually get better at this? Let's build our toolkit.
First things first, let's talk about what not to do. A super common reaction is what one expert calls compliment hot potato. Someone tosses you a compliment and you immediately toss one right back. Oh, well, you're great too. It's a total deflection tactic, and even though it might feel polite, it usually just comes across as insincere and makes things even more awkward.
So here's a much better way to go. A simple 4-step guide. Step 1. Just say thank you. That's it. It's the simplest and most powerful response. Step 2. Actively fight that urge to downplay what you did. Just banish "it was nothing" from your vocabulary forever. 3. Take a quiet second to actually internalize it. Let the good feelings sink in. And finally, number 4, if it was a team effort, share the credit. But do it the right way, without completely erasing your own part in it.
So let's see this in action, right? The classic knee-jerk deflective response to a compliment on your work might be something like, "Ah, this old thing, it was nothing, really." We just automatically devalue ourselves and our work. But instead of that, try this. "Thank you. I worked hard on that and I'm so glad it resonated with you." Can you feel the difference?
It's confident, it's gracious, it's authentic. It validates both your hard work and the other person's good judgment.
This whole idea leads us to a really fascinating final point. As one psychotherapist put it, everyone looks like a thief to a pickpocket. What does he mean by that? Well, he means that we tend to assume other people operate the same way we do.
And this is where it all comes together. If you're often insincere, or you hide your own real opinions, you're naturally going to assume that when someone else compliments you, they must be insincere too. The entire issue just circles right back to where we started: trust.
So, here's the absolute bottom line. Learning to accept a compliment is really just an exercise in learning how to trust. It's about trusting that the other person is being genuine, for sure. But even more than that, it's about learning to trust that you are, in fact, worthy of the praise in the first place.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This isn't just about avoiding a few awkward conversations. It's about the very foundation of how we connect with people. Because, after all, how close can you really get to someone if you can't bring yourself to trust what they say?